JDM, folks. Jack Della Maddalena. Look, some of the most beautiful boxing in the UFC. Just a proper hard Aussie lad. Amazing stuff. Got Craig Jones' wizardry in the back pocket that'll make this interesting, I hope. I hope this isn't over early. I'd like to see it extended and just see both guys' skill sets, collide. And Islam Makhachev, look, he's silenced the doubters so many times before in matchups where we thought he would really get tested. And Islam Makhachev at 170 pounds, the world might just not be ready for that. He might have insane, Jailton Almeida grip strength, guys. This could be a serious problem for the welterweight division as long as it lasts. Should he beat Jack Della Maddalena and sort of take over the welterweight division? And Islam Makhachev, not the crowd pleaser that Jack is. I know we're all a bit gay for Jack Della Maddalena's boxing combinations, his shot selection. It's beautiful stuff. But I'm really hoping that JDM can take a piece of the Alexander Volkanovski blueprint and pieces from that Poirier fight and really meld them together into the perfect game plan to defeating Islam Makhachev, because both of those fights Islam struggled with in different ways, and that I think Jack can replicate. First off, Volkanovski's ability surviving Makhachev on the ground. In particular, the backpack position. Look, Islam Makhachev likes a lot of strength and squeeze-based submissions. Arm triangle, Kimura, powerful Darce chokes. But we saw in the Alexander Volkanovski fight, yes, it was a bit later into the contest, so he was probably starting to feel fatigue, but this guy ain't great on the back. He likes to be in control and on top, using all that strength and size and that crazy squeeze with all that muscle he's got. So I think JDM doesn't have much to worry about if his back gets taken. He's a great roller. He has tons of scrap on the ground. It's these other positions where he's going to get isolated that I sort of start to worry about him. But he never really ends up in those positions. He's bailed out of submissions before, didn't get hauled around by Gilbert Burns too badly, was able to scramble out when it mattered and land his own damage, so I like that for him. And the Dustin Poirier performance showed us a lot against Makhachev. Poirier looked to be at a size and strength disadvantage in that fight, and still hit some cheeky reversals that I loved for him. Like hitting the switch on Makhachev and planting that elbow on him. That was a thing of beauty. Jack needs to look for moments like that, where you can land your damage after you've put in the work and done a clean technical reversal. I feel like if JDM just rushes his offense, that will be where Makhachev can, really land a takedown and get working on top position. But JDM doesn't really do that. He honestly leads with his defense first and then starts to apply that pressure. But the sad reality is, for JDM enjoyers, he's taken down in almost every fight, which is always worrying because all it takes is for Islam to land in a dominant position, and it could be over just like that. Jack really relies on scrambling really well, bailing out, improving position, and escaping, and then pouring on volume onto a tired opponent or an opponent who's just out of their depth on the feet and out of options against him. So Jack really needs to turn this into a dirty boxing fight. Honestly, he needs to make this fast-paced, wild on the feet. Makhachev, might not move the same up at 170. All that muscle will pack on size and strength, but that won't make Makhachev any faster, necessarily. In a matchup like this against JDM, who likes to apply that boxing pressure, likes to induce fatigue, that welterweight move for Makhachev might be a detriment here. It honestly might be. But both guys have so many ways to win in this matchup, which is why I think it's 50-50. There's so many ways this could play out. Nobody can convince me yet that it's either Islam Makhachev domination, first round sub, or just a JDM knockout. Both of those just don't seem right. I feel like we're in for an extended thing where both guys have success, but I want to find out who wins. So, there's a bit of promo. Let's dig into this matchup early. Let's figure out who's going to win this thing, and if I can be convinced to either side, because I honestly don't know. I feel like I'm understanding the matchup better and better as these days go on, and the more fights I watch of them. But I see two guys in their prime with completely different styles, and that always makes the best fights, the most entertaining build-ups. I can't wait to see how this thing unfolds. And the welterweight division is so talent-stacked. This fight is so important for the outcome of it. Like the speed at which JDM rose up and took the title Yes, it was off Bilal Muhammad, Canelo hands, but still, beautiful boxer, very scrappy, great cardio as well. Bilal is known for setting a pace on guys, and JDM passed that test, so cannot wait for this matchup. Cannot wait to see Islam at 170. There's a lot of questions around how he's going to look. And I don't even really count his last performance, honestly. Moicano on short notice isn't the most impressive thing in the world to me. So in my mind, he's still sort of coming off that Poirier performance, because I think this thing with Jack is going to get extended and we have a real fight on our hands. So here are my keys to victory for each of them. Jack Della Maddalena, faster footwork. Always being one step ahead of Makhachev's footwork is the key here, much like Volkanovski was. This will allow him to see clinch-ups and takedowns coming, and he can just sting with the jab from a distance. And Jack will want to keep this boxing range all fight long. Islam is not the most devastating striker on the feet, so I'd like Jack to take counter hooks as he takes angles and really go for body shots and just aim to the chest on a guy like Islam after a level change so he can interrupt the takedown as well. Knees are risky, but they are more effective. Second, break the grip at all costs. I think Jack's scramble game has always been good, but he's still getting better, and aligning himself with Craig Jones is obviously going to speed up those improvements. Gilbert Burns is a very physical, jacked Brazilian, world champ level BJJ competitor, and Jack found ways out of his grasp and shrimped away. I was pretty impressed with that. He was taken down quite a few times, but never in threat of any submissions, always finds ways to get back to his feet and bail out. So I love that, and escaping Makhachev's attempts at molestation may be futile, but we've seen plenty of lightweights do it before. Moises defended a lot, Poirier defends, Arman had some success in the first fight. But I think Jack's biggest key here should be winning the cardio battle. Both guys just recently went 5 hard rounds in title fights, and it was JDM who came out looking fresher and less damaged. And this is just because he has the better boxing defense. JDM has much higher level of comfort in the pocket. He just operates better there. Makhachev, very defensive, composed posture on the feet. Doesn't want to get hurt with punches. Doesn't take many risks on the feet either. It's very basic boxing. JDM's definitely the guy with the flair, the finesse, and the ability to string punch combos together. Islam, not a big combination guy. They're clean, they're just kind of one at a time with Islam, short combos. But aside from that, he must get ahead of Islam and do his best to actually fatigue him. He won't have much of a chance if Makhachev is sort of resting at 70% the whole fight. He really needs to target that gas tank. Then he'll be able to have success, because I feel like both guys here, with their gas tanks full, I feel like Islam Makhachev might just have his way with Jack. It's all about that gas tank and that long-term cardio base. So not only will he need to break free from Islam's grasp, but also sneak in punishment where he can. That'll be the hard part. Once Makhachev is good and tired, then his defense and composure on the feet will drop dramatically, I think. And we've seen it slowly slip away in the Poirier fight. Poirier wasn't putting on tremendous pressure, but Makhachev still got tired just from being unsuccessful with the grappling engagements. If Jack's able to really punish that gas tank, I think in the later rounds, if it makes it there, Islam's quality of takedowns will drop dramatically, and that'll make it a more even fight. But the key is really getting this thing extended. That's one thing that a boxing style in MMA is really good at. A lot of boxers in the UFC have this effect where they have somewhat of a slow start, finding their reach and rhythm, but as the fight goes on and they start to land more and more punches, that steady flow of punishment slowly breaks guys down, and then they find a finish later into the fight. So don't think Jack Della Maddalena should be rushing this thing. He has 5 rounds to work. I want him to be really smart and composed at all times, defensively responsible in grappling situations, but always punishing Makhachev. Punishing the gas tank, I should say. He shouldn't be forcing a knockout by any means. I think his chance is better if he can get Islam in the later rounds, because we saw Poirier start to have success, and that was one-hit Poirier, man. That wasn't the greatest look for Islam, considering he's bigger, younger, and still slowed down as much as he did in that fight, and was damaged. So what are the keys to victory for Islam? Well, it's a bit more obvious. Do not box. Islam will make this a lot simpler for himself if he just doesn't exchange in the pocket at all. The more he does that, Jack can get loose and find openings and timing. A good way to beat a boxer is just to never really take it into that range. Look at Merab and Petr Yan. Jan hacked low kicks because Merab is just bouncing around like an Energizer Bunny, out of range, just being goofy, awkward, a really weird target to hit. So you can have success against a boxer in a lot of ways. Islam likes to strike, though. He sort of fancied himself a striker against Poirier, and look how that turned out. He came out of that fight with as much damage and wear and tear on him as we've probably ever seen other than the Volkanovski fight. And Jack has a pre-smashed nose, for God's sake. Like, he's not worried about facial damage. He's one of the most comfortable guys in the pocket that I've ever seen. He really thrives in that short range to get his own work off, and he's got great durability, so amazing stuff. He took like a clean elbow from Gilbert Burns right on the mush and just walks through it, so I'm not really too worried about JDM's durability. So Islam should not be testing it. He should not engage in pocket boxing here. And open space takedowns. Look, Jack fought a decent version of Gilbert Burns and was taken down every round, but JDM does do a great job of making grapplers work themselves to death. Like, the amount he moves and squirms around on the ground, he's always moving. He's not a guy that settles very often. He's such a good scrambler, intelligent scrambler. You saw the way he escaped bottom position from Gilbert Burns, and that led to the finish. Rolled out, used his feet to roll over the cage, got to his feet super quick in the third round, and just plastered Gilbert Burns with a knee. That's tidy work to take out a grappler. So Islam might just need to take the new and improved Chimaev approach and literally just give up submissions and lay in dominant positions and just tippy-tappy to not get a separation. I would hate that. That would kill the whole buzz of this fight. That would really sour my opinion of Makhachev because he has better skills than that. But I could see that plan of attack working on a guy like JDM, just never letting him buck and scramble, pin him flat to the cage, just like Chimaev did to DDP, and just kill the fight dead. And also just kill all the hype and buzz and promo dead. Like, that is a speed run of get the community against you, but it's an effective way to win in MMA and within the rule set, so I do not blame guys for doing it, but it's just the way it is, okay? We can't have nice things. He doesn't want to overwork himself in all these grappling engagements and risk a gas out with all this new muscle that he's packed on. I get it. But you tell me, what am I missing here? Because I feel like I have a decent read on this fight. I've been studying it for quite a while now, since it's been signed and released, really. But I'm kind of holding back to pick a winner just yet because I see good arguments for both. And look, Jack has been dealt some good wrestlers throughout his career. Juiced up Basil Hafez. He broke Ramazan Ameev with bodywork after nearly getting choked out. He escaped that, punished him, took out Burns late, and put on a masterclass against Canelo Hands Bilal Muhammad. Look, Bilal Muhammad trains with Islam Makhachev. I'm not saying he's on the level of an Islam, but that's got to count for something, right? He's in that training room with Islam, and JDM showed a lot of good looks against Bilal. One on the feet, had great looks on the ground and in the scramble, in transition. Loved the targeting in that fight as well. He would consistently rip up Bilal to the head and body. Check the numbers on that fight. It was beautiful, tidy work, perfect game plan from JDM. He got touched up back, but that's what I'm saying. JDM is so comfortable in the feet, he will eat a few to dish out his because he's a smarter puncher at the end of the day. And all I'm seeing these days is Islam talking about Topuria and barely mentioning JDM's name at all. Maybe we're not there yet for the build-up, but like, come on, man. Like, I'm just seeing little sneak disses at Ilia Topuria. Like, this is not a guy you sleep on, Islam. A proper hard Aussie cunt. Like, Volk gave you the toughest fight of your career. Arguably Poirier, but still. Like, I think just because he head kick KO'd Volk, he thinks he can just smother and smudge his way through a JDM matchup. Like, I don't think so. Think again. Extremely close fight. One that deserves more hype, and the winner has a list of killers ready to defend against. Like, this is tough stuff. Like, I don't think Islam stays in the sport long because look at the list of welterweight killers we have now. Like, the list is getting ridiculous. There's too many people in these welterweight rankings that I can totally see having a title wrapped around their waist. So comment down below who you guys got and what you think I missed. I think we'll also break down Valentina Shevchenko versus Weili Zhang soon as well. I think that would be a good idea, considering that's the co-main on that card. Maybe the best women's MMA matchup of all time, Bullet versus Magnum. Yeah, I'm also hyped about that. That is a crazy matchup. Russia versus China. Two of the most dominant female competitors of this generation. Valentina's a little bit older generation. Weili Zhang is kind of the newer generation, but crazy matchup. Two of the highest aura female MMA fighters in the world. Super high level, clean records. They both have finishing capabilities. Valentina Shevchenko is a little bit older generation, but she's still elite. Very, very technical. Weili Zhang, new generation. She's got finishing ability. She's a great all-rounder as well. She's been known to beat people with their own game, so beautiful, beautiful matchup. That card is looking so good. After these Apex shitters, we are getting such a treat. Yeah, this card's going to have me creaming. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you real soon.